Hello everyone and welcome to Soul Awareness. My name is Jane and I bring you some very beautiful messages of hope, of ideas, of energies to adopt and anything that's going to help you in your journey to betterment. Okay? That's my whole point and that's why I'm here. Thank you so much for being here. Tell your friends. If you love these, the best thing you can do is subscribe. Leave me a comment. I will be asking you questions, hopefully every time I do these, and you can join in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. So, as always, let's begin. The main message that came in today, the first card that came in, I should say, had the word peace on it, with the number 37. A cycle of peace. That sounds very nice. It sounds idealistic. We live in a society of idealistic. If something that's been drummed into me or drilled into me in the last week or so is that people are saying new age, idealistic, stuff like this. Almost feels like we went from realistic to idealistic, and somewhere in between we lost view of what actually is. You do know that we live in a world where we can balance a lot of things. We can work on things for ourselves that will bring in an ideal sort of living space. The trick is not to live in it in our minds in an imagination sort of way, or not stick to the reality that's in front of us that we may not like without working towards something else. As always, it's the middle that balances things out. But you'll have both sides arguing. You'll hear both sides arguing over and over again. If you're like me, you've observed this, you've heard this, you've been told this. One thing I will add here from my own personal journey in the last couple of weeks that I have observed is about definitions. Be careful of words and their specific definitions and how you program that inside of your head. If you leave no room for growth or interpretation or perception to anything, you become very polar in the way that you think. And it can really trap you in how you perceive things. You start speaking to people in ways that is a definite, without any room for any other point of view. So be careful with that. So that's something I have noticed. I've noticed and not aggravated any situation where that has come up, but just kind of noticed. People have their definition of things, and they tell you you shouldn't or should. You do what feels right for you. We're going to begin with the word peace. The message that's coming through, the big message, is that you should always be working within that peaceful core inside of yourself, building it to be that space that is always inside of you. I love this. It's meditation. It's a monk, or I should say just a meditative being, okay, in the middle, kind of in this beautiful surrounded space of energy that brings peace. I will say that you should always be working towards that. Always putting the building blocks towards that kind of I'm going to call it an infinite resource. Something that will serve you well when your reality or your imagination or what you're working on are not really, meshing, or things are, or just the world goes into complete, how would I call it, an a-hole mode? No, it sounds a little gruff, but think about it this way. When the world comes in and it kind of just get on your last nerve. And it's an exterior thing. It's not an interior thing. You just walk out your door and right away a car goes by and splashes all the rain all over you. Now you have choices at that point. You can decide that it's going to be an absolute a-hole of a day, surrounded by a-holes, or you could just think to yourself, well, that was shocking and interesting. This may be an in-your-face kind of day, literally, with rainwater, puddle water. Do I have time to change? How am I going to fit myself in this day while still remaining in the circle of peace and harmony? How am I going to make my day stay in that space, even with all of this? The reason that I mentioned that as well is because we also have the card of challenges, the Action of Wands. But this challenged knight, he's that knight that comes in and says, bring it, right? He's always looking for a challenge. The more challenges, the better. He's that kind of knight. He's got that fire to dry up that puddle water, to suddenly make your hair curl and look fantastic, even in the middle of chaos. He's always looking for something more, something to bring it in. The next thing that came in was from the deck, the Animal Elders. The Elder Eagle says, soar with insight. So, insight is 16, number 7. It's bringing in that feeling of, look, something's coming in here, and instead of just reacting, I'm going to soar above it. I'm going to take master energy, and you definitely have this above energy, this king energy. You see it right here. The King of Pentacles came out twice for this message. It's saying, I'm going to soar and look around and see the bigger picture. What can I gain from this? What's coming in with this for me? Am I going to learn anything new? What am I seeing here? I almost feel amusement when I think of these things. I feel amusement. I feel the sun. The energy that comes in for us is asking us to honor your foresight. To rise to new heights. To accept and hear the wisdom that comes in. With that wisdom also comes medicine. Just think about it this way. If you start not reacting immediately in a fight or flight or stressed and anxiety mode to everything in life, you start having a lot of wisdom, a lot more calm. And again, by all means, I am not preaching the polar opposites. you know? As in, a brick falls on your head and you have no reaction. That isn't what I preach here. But we have to admit, just looking at social media, that everything we watch is a reaction to something big or small. And that's all done quite deliberately to get your attention. We scroll and scroll and scroll and start thinking that we should maybe react to all these things the way everything is so reactive on the internet. And there's really, this is just a planned action to get a reaction on social media. Again, it's not your everyday life. By comparison, most of our everyday lives is going to be quite boring. Instead, for maybe at the beginning of the year, I'd like you to work on your sacred space of peace, your sacred space of insight. Written in the book here for The Elder Eagle Speaks, ask for my energy to help you when you need to expand your horizons so that you may increase your ability to see the bigger picture. I hand you a feather in gratitude for meeting the call of your ancestors and walking in a good way. Cherish your medicine, tend to it, and share it with the world. With me by your side, you cannot fail. Isn't that beautiful? It is beautiful. I love it. So, Elder Eagle, Mr. Number 7 in the end, 16, 7. The Tower, the Chariot, the Assessment, wants to guide you towards putting movement to chaos, but in a very constructive way. Now, there's a lot of sunny orange colors in these cards. Right away, this was beside this, and I thought to myself, look at the sun. Look at the sun. We're looking at joy. We're looking at peace. We're looking at happiness. And right after came the card of play. The big key in our lives is the boredom that we feel at what we consider chores. We put importance on a lot of things that has to do with accumulating outside of yourself. What we own, what we can buy, what we can accumulate. And we put less on the things that we could actually be happy and proud of, our accomplishments. For example, every year I see all these videos about vision boards for the upcoming year. But for somebody who's worked diligently on themselves, okay, we won't call them goals because goals is always the end mark, the outcome. And I'm a strong believer in the journey. You can be working on things for years. This channel, for instance, I work on it daily, every video, every minute. It's a work of love, of passion, of peace and happiness. People work on their channels to get subscribers, to get monetary gains, and that's all well and fine. But at one point, they will find themselves at the curvature where it no longer sustains them. Because they're doing it not because they're happy or feeling passionate about being here. About giving the message because it's something that they need to do, like breathing every morning. They just do it automatically. I want to do this automatically. It's an automatic thing. So thinking about it that way helps me continue on and find happiness in this journey and for any reason it gets to a point where I'm not, I'm going to have to really look at what I'm doing. Am I compromising? Am I pushing like a vision board to the next thing? I want this many subscribers on my vision board. Instead of going, last year I worked on my delivery of the message, my slowing down to connect better with my guides, to sending you a more meaningful message. What do I want to work on this year? More of the same. But instead of doing a vision board of the future, I encourage you to do a vision board of the last year. What have you accomplished? Someone said, look through your pictures and every month, and you will see, because we have a habit of taking pictures of the things that we've done or accomplished, or where we've gone, what we've done, and that's a great gauge of what we have accomplished in 2024. I encourage you to stay in your accomplishments, not always be going towards the future. Work today on the things that you want to work on the things that make you happy. The goals will accomplish themselves in the end. They'll get there. You can have a Northern Star idea of something that you really want. What do you want to do? I would like to do for myself a full declutter of my home. That would be fantastic. Have I already began? Yes, every day. A corner here, a closet there, a feature wall here, a space that doesn't get used a lot. I'm slowly decluttering, giving myself little goals every day to accomplish. And every step is an accomplishment. Every day, my environment transforms, one way or another. This brings back happiness, joy, the sun. It makes me happy. Staying in the future, going for goals in the future, doesn't make me happy. It makes me play in the day that I'm in. I find joy in the day that I'm in, right? I love the quote for this card in the book because it's the one from John Lennon. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment. I told them they didn't understand life. And it's so true. We fail regularly on understanding what makes us happy. People feel that they're going to be happy when they get this, when they reach their goals, when they get to point A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I find that it's an opportunity wasted to be happy right now. I thought of a goal or something that I want to get accomplished. I'm happy. I'm happy that I thought of it. I had this idea. This is going to be fantastic. I'm happy about it. Tomorrow I do a little thing to start working towards that. I'm happy. I started. Wow, that's so great. The next day I do a little more. The next week I pick it up again. I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. In all of those now moments of accomplishments, I am happy. Whether I reach the end, 3/4, halfway, from the beginning, I am further on than I've ever been, and I'm going to be happy with that accomplishment. Don't live in the future of what might be when you're accomplishing terrifically what you set out today. Be happy with what you have accomplished today. Okay? Happiness can mean like so many things. Some people think they'll be happy when they own the house of their dreams or the perfect job. But you lose the fact and the insight, and you lose the sight, period, that happiness is something that comes from inside of you. Things and possessions, and they can make you, or jobs, they can make you feel happy to a certain degree. But happiness comes from within you. If you're not happy with something inside of you, then you have to work on those things. So what you need to work on is joy and happiness in the present moment. To see the sun, to see the growth coming in. You see this? The growth coming in? Did you see how beautiful this card? Elder Eagle. To rise up to the occasion. And this Joy card is also bringing up this Eight of Cup cards. These possessions, these things that we are looking for, that we are searching for, they're dragging us down. You see these scissors? Look at what they're telling you to do. What are they telling you to do? They're telling you to get rid of that. They're telling you to cut the cords of what is making you sink. Expectations. Things in the future that you're thinking of doing. You're not getting there fast enough. You're not good enough. It didn't turn out the way you wanted it. All these things. People's expectations of you. Constantly burdening you. Your mind. The Play card is telling you this. Find little moments of fun in the everyday. Keep a bat and ball handy, throw a frisbee. By taking moments to play, you're fueling yourself with endorphins. This is really good. These happy endorphins, these things of play, they have a space. A lot of people going to say overly optimistic, not being realistic. You know what? We're always looking in the future of how we can get ourselves healthier, happier. Let's not even go there. What if today you could feel happy just being? What if today made you feel good? What if everything that you did today, from the most mundane, you could appreciate? I always go back to washing a toilet, how disgusting or boring that can be. But once it's white, once it's clean, can you not just stand there and go, I have a clean bathroom, I have a clean toilet. It brings me happy. Do you ever go somewhere and you're looking at all the toilets to see if they're clean? I do. Then why not do that in your own home and not be happy and perfect when it is done? Give yourself a kudos going. If anybody opened up that door to come and use my toilet, they would pick mine. This is great. I have a clean space. And if it's not clean, take the moment of now. Take the few minutes. Get it clean. Get the area around it clean. Give yourself a space to feel well. Work on your spaces to feel well. Now you're saying, is that play? No, but you can make it. You can get it to a point where it doesn't take that long. And after you can feel like my area of play, whether it be my bathroom, my bedroom, my living room, they're all areas that I like to be in. They reflect who I am. They have a space for me to be in that doesn't clutter my brain. I feel happy here. That helps. And then you feel at that moment very much surrounded by peace. If you see this as like all surrounded, all of these feel like surrounded, okay? By nature, by abundance, by happiness. You suddenly feel like really rich in the way that you are. I'm going to put this one back up here because it's beautiful. Don't mind the noise, it's just a rabbit. She's like cleaning, doing her cleanup. I guess talking about cleaning got her. So this brings you peace. Peace is always, I would say, is the most important thing. Because if you can find a space where you create peace for yourself, you'll always have a space you can go to when things get a little rough, when somebody throws a puddle in your face. Okay? When you start feeling like, ooh. So how do you get there? Here's what energy wants you to do. Breathe and breathe again, deeply and often. Everything is flowing as it's meant to be, smoothly and effortlessly. All is in perfect harmony. True peace isn't static and boring. It's full of grace, enthusiasm, and vitality. That's the other part. We always think that to just be peaceful all the time is boring or it's got no life to it, but it actually does. It has a lot of life to it. To feel vitality, to feel that rush of adrenaline when somebody throws a puddle on you of water as a car goes by, and you just feel that invigorating vitality. Instead of turning into anger, you turn it into laughter, amusement, a what now situation. What now? What do I do now? What do I do with this? Right? Tranquility is the awareness that all is unfolding according to divine planning. Serenity isn't something you have to attain, work at, or search for. It's already dwelling inside of you. To experience this within yourself, simplify your life. Spend time in nature. There's a lot of nature here. Up across here, there, in the sunlight, right? Take time to listen to the messages of your soul. Peace transcends fear and the illusion of separation and connects you intimately to the Creator. Affirmation: I breathe deeply, knowing that all is well in my universe. Honestly, I think that's the best message, or that's the best message that you can take away. How do I begin with this? How do I begin with this, Jane? How do I get to that point of living in the now, of seeing things with insight and disconnecting myself from anchored moments of life? Breathe. A deep breath, 4 or 5 deep breaths, will reset you. I've done it enough. If you're doing it correctly, which is just breathe in deeply, slowly, for maybe a count of 4, out for a count of 6, with a few pauses between both. Do it 4, 5, 6 times in a quiet space and really concentrate on your breathing. This can reset you. Even after that car splashes that puddle on you. And set yourself aside and do deep breathing. And just concentrate on breathing. And see what happens. You have somebody yapping in your face, making you lose it. Take yourself away. Quiet room, bathroom, in a clean stall. Do it again. Reset your mind, your body, your energy Reconnect yourself with what matters, not the negative energy of the moment. Rise up with vitality to that occasion. It's not being just the monk in Zen, it's being the monk with a Knight of Wand attached to it. It's going to have peace within me, but I have the Knight of Wands who's willing to rise up to any challenges, right? Who's like, I value the adventure of life. I don't need to rise up to anger, pain, strife, aggression. I don't need to listen to my mind telling me I'm not accomplishing enough. I can rise up to every day, do a little bit, and give myself some kudos. I don't need to build vision boards of the future with a little nagging voice of going, you know, you're not going to accomplish all of that. Look back on everything that you've accomplished up the last year. Take a look. See what you need to let go of. See what you need to embrace more of. Give yourself a North Star, but like the North Star, know that it's far, far away and that it's going to be really cool as you're getting closer to it because it's going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Every time you move closer to it, it's a fantastic thing. It's a happy thing. Play in your life. Enjoy the moments. Enjoy the things that you've accomplished. Really realize how you've played in those moments. What made it happen? Was it perfection that made it perfect? Or was it you playing in the moment that made that moment perfect? I hope that you've enjoyed your Monday message. Now, I would like to start asking questions every time I do these. And the question that's coming to mind here is, have you thought of everything that you've accomplished last year? Let's not talk about 2025. Let's talk about 2024. I want you to tell me something that you are proud of, something that you have accomplished in 2024. You'll have to excuse, I think my rabbits want my attention. She's being quite aggressive today. So I'm just going to finish off with this. What have you gone and done in 2024? I will say for myself, I am almost at a complete year of walking steadily. I started walking at the end of January 2024, and we're going to the end of January 2025, and I'm almost at a year of walking. But I did it through sickness. I did it through some aches and pains. Sometimes I did it slow. Sometimes I did it faster. But I accomplished that, and I really feel it. I feel that my body's really enjoyed it. I've seen the benefits. I list them out. I've also done some decluttering in last year. I've pulled myself out of myself and put myself out there. There's a lot of things that I really am proud of myself for and that I want to keep doing in this upcoming year. And I want you to do the same. I want you to write in the comments at least one thing that you did last year, either by going through the pictures in your phone. And I want you to stay in the moment of pride. If you find 2, 3 more, or you start realizing that you've done a lot of things last year, I want you to stay in every moment and give it the appropriate amount of gratitude and joy and gratefulness of the things that you have accomplished. And then I want you, with that in mind, to start working today on something. Not on the end goal, but on something on today that you can look on at the end of this year, 2025, and say, wow, I did that. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate so very much. I apologize for my bunny rabbit. I think she's going through heat. I don't think she's ever been fixed, and every once in a while she just kind of, woof, goes a little, goes a little bit nuts. So thank you, and I will see you in the next reading. Stay aware, my beautiful souls. Bye for now.